even if there is a bump in the road, a speed bump, it's finding the ways to slowly get over that hump so then you can get back up to the 70 miles per hour, right? What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to another episode on the Inside Influence podcast, aka The Morning Takeaway. Wow, that rhymed. But today I want to talk about a little bit of a life analogy that I came up with and relate it to my most recent mishap in the idea that life will throw you adversity. And for those of you that followed me on Instagram, Snapchat, or here, I think this podcast will come out after the video is out when I'm doing a YouTube video on recovery tactics because of this instance. Well, you know that because of all the other platforms, I'm training for this marathon and I happened to pull my hamstring on Sunday doing some recovery stride sprints. So as you can imagine, I'm 5 weeks out from my marathon. I'm pretty bummed. I have actually torn my hamstring twice before. It's something that contributed to me not playing professional baseball and really hindered the end of my career, just missing time in college at the end of my senior season. But that's not the point. The point is that I'm in the middle of this training and running my first marathon, and the excitement around learning in this whole process. And I believe I just did a podcast on the whole idea of following a program and following a plan to breed results. And I was finally getting to a place where I was like, and literally the day before I had run 19 miles, my longest run yet. And I was getting to this place of like, wow, this is coming together. And just like that, boom, in a blink of an eye, I'm doing some sprints with Juju. I'm not sure if you saw that video, that reel on Instagram, but pulled my hamstring. Needless to say, it's not as bad as I thought it was initially. It definitely hurts to touch. It's actually kind of weird to sit here right now on the edge of my chair, but that said, I'm doing everything I can day by day to make sure it gets better, and hopefully within a week I will be back to at least jogging. It's not anywhere as bad as I thought. But without talking too much, I just wanted to enlighten you on the situation because I randomly ran into this life analogy and kind of used this metaphor the other day, and I just started basically pondering it in my head. And I've put it actually on my story before on Instagram, but I wanted to elaborate, and it's that of a speed bump. And the idea that a speed bump is like life. It's like a goal. It's something that if you approach that speed bump head on, going as fast as possible, more than likely you could probably get a flat tire. Or the idea that if you take it faster than slowly getting over the speed bump, you probably have a better chance of getting a flat tire. Now, approaching a goal, approaching life, approaching a marathon, and taking it head on with a full head of steam, you don't allow yourself to slow down. And when you get that flat tire, it hinders you, right? It prolongs the process of trying to get to your results, right? It puts this idea, it puts a you're stuck. When you have a flat tire, you can't go anywhere, right? You could choose to drive, you're not gonna get very far. But the idea that if you take this speed bump and you slowly get over it, you slowly drive through it, it only hinders you for a certain amount of time, and then you're on your merry way. So I think my point in this speed bump analogy is the more that we slow things down, the more that we can get to results a little faster. And in this analogy, I want to relate that to anything that you might be going through. The next time that you might have some kind of adversity, something happens at work, Maybe you get laid off. Maybe there's a death in the family. Maybe there's, just the everyday stress, whatever it might be, just to tell yourself, hey, this is a speed bump. And I can choose to continue to move forward and slowly get through it one step at a time. Some people take that speed bump one wheel at a time. They kind of go in at an angle, right? Or you can get really sped up in that process of that adversity and let it speed you up so much that you get overwhelmed and it gives you the flat tire of life and you get stuck. And when you get stuck, you feel this sense of almost a bad kind of momentum. You get stuck and you feel like there's no way out. And I've talked about this before on other podcasts, but finding a way to slow things down and to create the momentum for yourself and to continue moving forward, even if there is a bump in the road, a speed bump, it's finding the ways to slowly get over that hump so then you can get back up to the 70 miles per hour, right? And I think, this wasn't going to be a long podcast anyways, but I just wanted to put that out there because I think it's so relatable to, again, all things in life. And I think it's an easy way to break down in those situations that we might be feeling something like, hey, for me, I really want to get back out there and run. I pulled my hamstring 2 days ago, but I know that the process of this speed bump that has just hit me is going to be better if I don't try to run today or jog today, even if it's just a few miles, and I take my recovery more seriously yesterday, today, all the way through this week, and then reassess and say, hey, all right, I lost a week. I'm still going to do whatever it takes to run this marathon. How can I come back better the next week, right? And, there's for me specifically, it's that slowdown of the process and take a step back, realize what you have to be grateful for, especially in this situation. It's like, hey, you still have legs. You still are able to use those legs. You're just not moving at the normal pace that you usually move. And it's okay to find peace in that. So, and again, it might not be a physical example for everyone. It could be a mental battle that you're going through, but it's a speed bump nonetheless. And it's getting over that without giving you that flat tire and feeling stuck, right? So I hope there was something in there in this little snippet of a podcast for you. I hope there was something beneficial. If there was, I'd appreciate if you share it with somebody that you think might need to hear it. Again, you've heard me say this from the beginning. If somebody was able to get on a camera and a microphone and say something to impact my life and ultimately change my life, I hope there's something that I could say that would impact yours. And if so, then I'm truly fulfilled. So, you know me, it's kind of my passion, right? And putting this kind of stuff out there, especially when it comes to mental health. So I think that's a good place to wrap up. Before we wrap up though, we'll get into a random question generator. Let's hope that it's something crazy. What was your best birthday? Oh, that's fitting because today's April 18th and my birthday is in 11 days. My best birthday, I think this already asked me that question. Yeah, I think so. Because it was the birthday that I randomly had my walk-up song changed, and when I turned 22 and somebody put my walk-up song as Taylor Swift, and I hit a home run. I don't know. So let's do it. That was a pretty cool birthday. Had family in town. Anyways, I want to do something fun. When was the last time you changed your opinion about something major? I've been asked that question too. I go back and forth with fasting, just on the idea of like, should I do it every single day or should I do it, have like 5 days on, 2 days off? That's my better preferred method. Anyways, let's do something fun. If you lost all your possessions but one, okay. If you lost all of your possessions but one, what would you want it to be? Wow. I think the most ideal answer, which is kind of stupid in today's world, would be a phone, but I think I could survive without a phone. One possession, honestly, I was going to say coffee, but that's not a possession. I don't know. I'm making this podcast way longer than it needs to be. I'm just going to go with the simple answer of Probably like my toothbrush, because hygiene is important and I like when my mouth feels clean. That's not the answer anyone was looking for, but that's what we're gonna roll with. I appreciate you listening to this podcast. Hope you took something away. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have an awesome freaking day, and don't forget to smile.